Welcome to Cigar City Radio, episode number 25. Damn, that's a pretty significant number there, Jason. 25, that's like a milestone number.
1/4 of 100.
Oh, yeah, we're almost there, almost to 100.
Yeah.
25 episodes, that's more than MTV's Clone High. That's more than Freaks and Geeks, a show that launched the careers of Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jason Segel. That only lasted 18 episodes.
So basically, we're launching all of the ballers.
That's more than Bunheads, the Amy Sherman Palladino show that had the mom from Gilmore Girls on it.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You're not familiar with Bunheads? Well, yeah. It's more than Firefly.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, poor Firefly. Anyways, I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, and making the magic happen, Mr. Jason Solanas.
Earlier today, I felt like a really old Cuban man because I actually it hurt. When was the last time that happened to you?
I mean, it's a daily thing, man. It's a daily thing. If you love Cigar City Radio, and we really hope that you do, you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We encourage you to leave a review in the iTunes store and share the show with your friends. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Cigar City Radio, and you can email us at cigarcityradio@gmail.com.
We're excited to announce that one of our own, the Fantastic Plastics, are officially part of Vans Warped Tour this summer. From June 16th to July 2nd, catch the Fantastic Plastics on the Full Sail University stage. They'll be hitting Seattle, Salem, Albuquerque, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Denver, Nashville, New Orleans, Atlanta, Orlando, St. Petersburg, and West Palm Beach. Tickets are available at vanswarpedtour.com.
I know what you're going through. I'm gonna teleport to you. I know what you're going through. I'm gonna teleport to you. Think fast, at last. We're through living in the past. I know what you're going through. I'm gonna teleport to you.
Our guest on this episode is talented indie pop star Ariana and the Rose. We met up with her during South by Southwest, and it was a blast to talk to her. Her new EP, Retrograde, came out last Friday, and she actually gave us these awesome silver jackets that say super cool on them. That's one of the songs on the record. And she actually has a video for that song featuring a rollerblading group called the Moxie Girls who wear jackets just like the ones that she gave us. So that was pretty cool.
We're going to rollerblade with those on.
Yeah, we're definitely nowhere near as cool as Ariana or Moxie Girls, but you know, we try to be super cool with our super cool jackets.
We are super cool.
Yeah, we're all super cool, I think. No, we're not. But Ariana and the Rose is definitely super cool. So for more music, tour dates, and info, head to arianaandtherose.com. So here it is, episode 25. Over here
just horror stories.
Oh man, but New York is like covered in snow right now.
Yes, it is.
And we're we're sitting here in Austin, Texas, where it's warm and
I know.
and beautiful.
I know. I was like, see ya, bye.
Yeah.
Have fun in the snowstorm, everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How's South by been so far? What's the experience been like?
It's been great. I've just been doing a little bit of promo and stuff, and then I have my first show tonight, and then I have 2 shows on Saturday, and then another show on Sunday. So it'll be pretty full on from here on out, which is exciting.
So now is like this is the kickoff.
We're in it. Yeah.
You're in the thick of it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. No, it's been really fun. And then I made sure that I got some tacos and stuff when I got here.
Absolutely.
And margaritas.
Yes. Lots of tacos.
Austin
lots
does
of
a mean margarita just about everywhere, I think. So.
Yeah.
And my band is here, so they all have been here before. I've never been to Austin before, actually.
Really?
So
Yeah.
they're all like, we have to go here, we have to go there. I have like 3 tour guides. So it's
Really?
great.
We're from Florida, so when we
Oh,
came
cool.
here to Austin, everybody's like, "Oh, you have to eat at this place and you have to eat at that place," and that's like the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
the food here is on another level.
That's the thing. I feel like all I do is eat. If we
Yeah.
have a free minute, I'm like, let's go eat. Everyone's like, we just ate. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
We don't know when we'll be free again.
I mean,
No.
on like a figurative and literal sense. Yeah.
So yeah, basically
right on.
everyone's just very full.
Yeah. So I know you have an EP coming out
Yes,
soon.
I
Retrograde,
do.
is that
Yes.
right? I got to listen to it.
Oh.
early. Yeah. It was sent to me, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was
And
about to
that-
say, oh no, it was terrible.
I'm going to tell you right now, you should go back and fix it. No, thank you so much.
No, it's so good.
Thank
and what record are you touring on now?
Well, I'm sort of at the beginning of, not sort of, I'm at the beginning of doing all the promo and touring for Retrograde.
Okay, so now this is the beginning of this.
Yeah,
This is
I haven't played in a few months, actually. The last time I played
Really?
was, I've done a few acoustic things here and there, but the last time I played was December. So this will be now we're doing a run. So I'm doing South by, and then I go back to New York and play in New York, and then we do LA, and then I'll do some shows in London, and then come back around again.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, so I've heard that your bio is like London by way,
Yes.
New York by way of London.
Yes.
So I was expecting a very posh British accent from you.
No, definitely not. Definitely from New York by way of Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the London connection come?
I started going to London about a couple years ago, and I just started writing music there, and then got some shows and a tour and scrambled to put a band together, and I was fortunate to have amazing players. And after you go through the whole process of sort of doing that, you're like, oh, we're here and we should be playing. And I was
Yeah.
fortunate to meet amazing people to work with, and I just started touring there, and kind of one tour led to another tour, led to more things. So I kind of accidentally found myself hanging out in London for several years, which
Yeah.
was amazing and influenced my music and the show and everything. So it's nice to be back in the States and be doing that show.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
So you were in London for how long?
I mean, I've been going back and
Oh, you
forth.
go
I
back
was
and
never
forth.
solely there, but I spent the majority of my time there for the last 2 years.
A lot of cross-Atlantic flights.
I basically just lived on a plane.
Yeah, that's rough. I hate that flight to
I
London.
weirdly like it. I know
Yeah.
I'm weird in that way. I feel very calm. You can't do anything. What are you going to do on a plane? You're
That's
going to
my
watch
problem.
in-flight movies,
Yeah.
maybe read a book. Mm-hmm. I just loved it. I was like, no one can call me here.
That is true.
I just love
That's
that.
true. See, I'm a phone addict. I just part of the job, but I'm
Yeah.
addicted to texting and getting back to people right away.
There's
you know?
in-flight Wi-Fi on some flights.
When you're like over the
Yeah.
waters, you don't get that.
No.
And that's what kills me.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know what it is. Maybe I developed it as a sort of. I had no choice. It was either like start to love it or be pretty miserable all the time. So
Yeah.
I just started to really like flying. And and then I do an LA trip every several weeks to write because I'm a songwriter. So then I did like the 10-hour flight, and I was like, no, too far.
Yeah.
We've gone too far.
yeah.
6 is the max.
Yeah, so let's keep it at 6. 10
Yeah.
is rough. Yeah.
10 is rough. But
Yeah.
again, I'm like, what? You just watch movies back to back. In
Sure.
what other place is that socially okay that you watch like 5 movies in a row
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just sit and eat food and have someone give you some wine if you ask for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
or tea if you're going on British Airways. I love that they serve tea like
Yes.
several times during the
Yes,
flight.
and they give you this like British sandwich at the end of it.
Yeah.
That I personally don't think tastes very good.
No,
but I'm
they,
not going to rag on.
They also
it.
give you this like purple cabbage stuff
Yes.
that I'm like, I looked at it like, what is this?
Yeah. They're just acclimating you, I think.
Yeah,
so.
they're getting you ready.
They're like,
Getting
this
you
is what
ready.
we do here. Get into it.
Yeah. So being a native New Yorker
Yes.
and going back and forth to London,
Mm-hmm.
how do the cities compare? How do London and New York stack up?
It's a good question. I think that for me, in terms of live music and stuff like that, I was drawn to London because I think the live music scene there is so amazing.
Yeah.
But when I had moved, I was starting to feel like live music wasn't happening in the same way in New York. But actually, in the last few months since I've been back, I think that that's starting to change again, and bands are really around. And Brooklyn has a lot of venues that are opening and really and kind of creating this entry point for bands where it's not like if you don't have to be selling out like thousands and thousands of seats and tickets to have a place, where I felt like London really does have that. And people go to see music. People buy tickets in London, which I thought was really cool. Like on a Friday night, like people will be like, oh, let's go to, whatever venue because there's always good bands. That's something that you didn't I wasn't hearing as much in New York. Yeah. But I mean, there's like a million different things. They don't have good sushi. I think New York wins on sushi.
Yeah, there's no good sushi.
But I think maybe California beats New York on sushi. So I mean, it just depends where you're coming from.
Sure.
And the Mexican food is not happening in London either.
Honestly, I hope all the London listeners don't hate me right now, but I don't know how many London listeners we have. But I hated the food in London.
That's a misconception, though. That's when I first started going. I was like, oh, everyone hates. I'm like, oh, food's terrible here. Everyone hates the food in London. And then all my British friends were like, no, you're just eating in weird places. Clearly, let us take you to the normal places, which are next to the bad. They're next to the places I was going before.
I mean, you got to be a local, I guess, to know.
I think you just have to not be in like the most touristy parts. It's like the same thing as like if you go get like things in Times Square, it's probably not going to be as good as if you just like went up the street a little bit.
Yeah, if you know where to go.
Yeah, but I mean the overall culture. I mean the nightlife there, style, everything. I think that it's more about. It's just about doing something different from where you were before. I think there's just a lot of, I don't know what the word is. There's a lot of inspiration in that. So I loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks.
And so you mentioned you do songwriting as well. Are you writing for others or?
Yeah. So I write for my project and then I write for other people's projects as well. And especially since like the whole dance music phase has really it's not going anywhere. It's not a phase anymore.
No, it's not a phase.
It's not a phase.
It's a thing. Yeah.
It's a real thing. And I think that especially for people who write kind of melody, lyric, top line stuff, that sort of opened up a whole new thing to write. And there's a lot of really talented musicians that do that kind of thing, and it has like more. It's starting to have more depth to it than just like a typical like a house track or a four on the floor. So that's been fun to like write for other people's actual projects, and then start to write for like producers that have sort of EDM projects, and then write for my own. So I kind of do the gamut a bit, which is really fun to kind of step out of your own world for a minute into someone else's. Yeah.
Do you prefer that over your own stuff? Do you like writing for others or?
I love doing it. I like doing both. If someone was like gun to my head, pick one, I think I'd pick my own. But I think that writing with other people only helps you grow and change and kind of see other styles and how other people write. It just influences what you do for you. So I think too much of one thing is never great long term. You have to kind of constantly be learning new things and meeting new people.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And it allows you to kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit, working with somebody else who might have a different style, different vision.
And they do different things. I went into the studio with a group called RKCB, who are an LA-based electronic duo. And we didn't know who we were writing for. We both write for each other. We write for other people. We write for ourselves. And we wrote a song. And at the end of it, we were like, oh, this should be a duet. We should just do this as a duet because that's what makes sense. And we kind of put it out together. It's a song called Love You Lately that's on Retrograde.
Cool.
And
I remember.
Yeah, and I mean that started out. We didn't know what that would be for, So sometimes you just go in and you write a song, and their style, they're more R&B than I am. I'm a little more electronic than they are, and we kind of like melded together to do.
That's cool.
One thing.
That's cool, and it's cool to have the freedom to work with collaborators that make sense. It's not like I'm not big on like the Nashville thing where they like let's just put these 4 songwriters in a room with an artist and just make a song.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes magic happens like that. Like I've worked in the studio with some people that are like more hip hop influenced, and like my stuff you wouldn't have thought originally like that's what would work. But like you come out with stuff and you're like, oh my god, that beat I would have never gone to that, and then you write a melody that's like weird. Some people that's a strategy that they're like, I'm gonna put like a pop kid and an R&B guy and I don't know if you throw country in what you get, but like sometimes they don't. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes it's a disaster. Sometimes you're all like, oh god, we gotta go.
Yeah.
But other times you come out with things that are really cool. But I've been fortunate to work with people that I really have a synergy with.
Yeah. So the new record, Retrograde, was it mostly you then, or did you have a lot of collaborators on it?
So this record, which is kind of why I called it Retrograde, I co-wrote every song with someone else.
Okay.
Normally when I work and write, I'll work with one producer or two producers and make a record with them.
Yeah.
And so this EP was done in all different cities. So one of the tracks was done in LA, one was done in New York, one was done in London, and one was done sort of in between, half in New York and half in London. So I called it Retrograde because it felt like the whole thing was done in this weird, like, backwards way.
Yeah.
And I was constantly traveling, so it felt like this weird phase in my life where I was neither here nor there. So I'm trying to make it this thing, like I'm putting the EP out and then it'll all like even out.
Yeah.
So that was sort of how that record came to be, and it was cool to collaborate with other people. I love writing with other people, and I write alone also, but this one I just happen to love these 4 songs.
When's the record coming out?
March 24th.
So
next
soon.
Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, we're like South by and an EP show and the thing and then the record.
Where are you doing the EP show at?
In Brooklyn at Union Pool.
Oh, I love Union Pool. Union Pool is actually one of my favorite venues in New York.
I've never played Union Pool.
Never played Union Pool?
I know. I have all these first South by, first Union Pool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you mentioned all these venues that are opening up now in New York, but there's also a lot of venues that are closing too.
It's a bummer.
Like Shea Stadium just closed.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that.
What do you mean Shea Stadium closed?
Yeah.
City Field?
No.
Oh, you mean they changed it?
No, Shea Stadium, the venue, the DIY venue.
Oh, right. I was like, what the hell?
not City
I was
Field.
like, they closed a baseball. I was like, first of all, that's not a venue, and where are the Mets going to go?
The Mets are not going
Don't
anywhere.
mess with me like that.
Are you a Mets fan?
Yes.
All right. No.
I was like, my summer is ruined.
No.
I was about to be devastated.
No, yeah, they're moving them. No big deal. They're moving the Islanders, I think.
Where are they going? They don't know what to do with the Islanders.
No, they don't know
The
what to
Rangers
do.
feel pretty firm in the ground, and the Islanders can't
No,
quite.
yeah, they moved the Islanders to Brooklyn. They were playing at the Barclays Center.
Yeah,
And then Jay-Z, I guess, in the Barclays Center, people were just like, you
Jay-Z
know
was
what?
like, get out.
We'll make more money not having hockey games, so just see you later. I think
a
they're
bummer.
Yeah, I think they're going to like Hartford. I've heard that.
Oh no!
Yeah, right. The
What are they, like a
Hartford Islanders.
Are they like
Are
a
there even
tri-state
island-
area
Yeah.
team now?
left the Coliseum.
Yeah.
I know. I liked them at the Coliseum. That's where they belonged.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you, Islanders,
Yeah.
wherever you go.
But-
Yes, no, there's tons of venues. I mean, it was a total hole in the wall, but Trash Bar was this amazing
Oh,
venue
yeah,
in
Trash
New York.
Bar.
I played some of my first shows there. It was like in the back room.
Yeah.
I mean, basically the PA was like about to just shut down while we were playing.
perfect.
But it was every band I know that have gone on to be big bands. Everyone played Trash Bar, and I couldn't believe it shut down. I mean, there's so many places like that.
Yeah.
So, and London has a similar problem with like the nightlife club scene, which is like huge for them. Their venues are closing down too. It's tough to keep it going.
It is. And that's the scary part. It's scary to see music venues closing so often.
Yeah.
And now we're cutting our funding for the arts in general.
I know.
And it's like
It's scary.
it's just going to get worse.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, you have to hope that there'll be some sort of. I feel like when it gets really bad like that, you can hope that things grow out of that as a sort of resistance to it, and
Yeah.
people doing things maybe in an unconventional way, and seeing if that'll kind of spawn a different kind of movement. I think New York is overdue for some really cool bands to be coming out of it.
For a
so.
revolution.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
it. I feel like there was like the like Williamsburg band movement of like Passion Pit and all
Yeah.
the Bravery and all those guys, and it just like we haven't had anyone.
Now that's all moved to Bushwick.
Yeah, right. They've just moved a few blocks over.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, we had Lady Gaga. She came out a while back.
Yeah.
So, rep her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Ariana and the Rose.
We're next.
Yeah, you're the next.
We're
Lady
going to change
Gaga.
the bio so it's just New York.
Yeah.
That way I can like firmly own it.
Then you can, own it. Own
It's
it.
the bio. It's messing us up.
Yeah.
We got to fix it.
Yeah. So where does the and the Rose come from?
When I started the project, I didn't want to be like a one name solo artist. I felt
Sure.
like the world didn't need another like one named pop girl
Yeah.
rolling around. And I wanted it to sort of encompass something bigger than me. I wanted it to feel like a community. Literally, it's the band.
Yeah.
I always, as a live act, have had a band. And even though it's electronic music, it was important to me that that was played live.
Yeah.
And that people felt like they were getting a band show with electronic elements.
I love that.
rather than just like me and some like DJ tables.
Yeah. Or you just like playing back the track.
Yeah,
you know?
like
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to feel like a band. I always wanted to
like
be
a real
in a band.
performance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Put on a show.
Yeah.
So that was ultimately what it's about. But as I've gone on and I collaborate with more people and play shows with other people, the Rose is sort of kind of it's expanded into this thing that feels like a community, and anyone that I collaborate with, it's almost a joke. I'll be in the studio with producers and they'll be like, "Am I the Rose?" And I'm like, "Today, yeah.
Today you
so
are
it's whatever
the Rose.
is an extension of me and the project."
Yeah.
And
Will you take this rose?
yes. But I have fans. I have fans that are like, "We're the Rose," and I think it's cool that people always say it as a joke. No one's ever just dead serious, but I think that there's something to be said for that people feel like whoever is interacting with the project or the music, they feel like they're an extension of it, and that was what I wanted, really.
So the album's coming out March 24th. It's called
2017.
Retrograde. It's
Yes.
awesome. And then what's next on the horizon?
What's next on the horizon? I started the show that's an immersive event. It's called Light and Space.
Okay.
And it's based off of several different kinds of things that are happening, and we're going to be doing that in New York. We did the first one in London last May with Red Bull, actually, as a partner. And this is an event that's a party, so it's a combination of a live music concert and a party, and has immersive theater elements to it.
Cool.
And the whole thing is based off of like the 80s disco scene, and we're making this futuristic disco. So you go and it's this like whole night of weird kind of otherworldly things, and it's an event kind of based off of the theater movement that's happening in New York, except we're putting live music with it. So
Sweet.
yeah, EP comes out and I'll play a bunch of shows and festivals, and then in the fall we'll be doing that show in New York. So I'm
Awesome.
excited. It's a weird one, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
hopefully we go to New York a lot, so hopefully
Oh,
we'll
if
be
you're there, you gotta, or you should just come for it.
Yeah, we'll come specifically for it. Just keep us posted.
There's like a decent amount of alcohol. I feel like that's always.
It's a good sell.
Is that a way? Should I be saying that on a podcast? Being like, listen,
It's
come
okay.
get drunk.
We are an explicit show. it has the E next to us.
Oh,
on
does
iTunes.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so you can say.
I didn't curse at all either. I was so proud of myself.
You didn't. Fuck. You didn't
Just
curse
say
at all.
fuck
Shit.
15 times. No, it's a really fun time. I had seen a bunch of shows in New York that were kind of this different way of doing theater, where the audience wasn't in seats and they were going around, and I was like, someone has to do this for music.
Yeah.
Take it out of a venue, put it in a space, put it with a party. So we started that.
Create something cool.
Do something else. I just feel like, who doesn't want to go to an awesome party on a Friday night?
I don't know.
I don't know, right? Who are you? I don't trust you.
I didn't know just how I felt until the dark eyes were on me, and I knew just what was meant to
But are you? Oh, ready? Yeah. Should I close the door? She's super cool.